Hello. So, I should be visible in the Twitches and the YouTubes. If you could see me, I would drastically appreciate being informed that you can. If you can hear me fine, if it looks fine, if it's running fine, I'd really appreciate it. That would be a big help to me. I just realised I don't think I focused this. There it is. Yeah, if anybody can see it and they could just let me know in the chat. I could see both chats, even if it comes into YouTube or Twitch. You'll even be able to see it on the side there once those stupid messages go away. Yeah, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you very much. I'm painting this. How good is this camera? I'm not sure what the point of that camera might actually be. Yeah, that might actually be a completely pointless camera. So it's just another view, isn't it? We'll run with it. Right, I need some paints. Where'd I got to with this fella? Need some colours for the dude. The contrasted stuff on him first. Brown leather boots. Some sort of clothing for him. This is actually going to be for Frostgrave. It's a Minotaur from Heresy Miniatures, who is ripping a poor man in two. But as I'm doing my Greek mythological warband, I thought I could replace a bear in the monster list with a Minotaur. Quite a nice, easy replacement. Get my crap out of the way. You. What else do I need? No, not that. Think about leather. Skeleton horde. Where is it? Frustrating. Ah, there it is. Good old Gulliman flesh. Would love a bit of Gulliman flesh. Not this fella's going to have a lot of flesh left by the end of it. Right. I've got my wet palette and all sorts out, but I probably won't even need them. I'm probably still at contrast stage point at this point. I've had this Mini for, I dread to think how long. I bought it at a salute many moons ago. Just because I had a tendency of buying Heresy miniatures, minis, almost every time I ever went to salute, because they just make awesome minis. They just make loads of really cool stuff. So it's all working. I hope it's all working. I hope somebody comes in and says, yeah, it's all good. It'll be very helpful. Right. Didn't shake it up. Silly me. Yeah, so hopefully the video's good on both sides. If it is all fine and it all sounds fine, that would be most appreciated if you could let me know. God, I do love contrast paints now. Bongo Clive, hello mate. Only me on the YouTube side, and you sound lovely. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. How are you? Well? I know there is, when I read up about this, I know there's a delay there's a slightly bigger delay from chat to me seeing it. I presume something to do with having to go through via the software and stuff like that. Does the video all look good, Clive? Is it coming through at a decent quality? I know obviously my streams aren't exactly like amazing quality or anything like that, but you know what I mean. Look at this poor fella. What a crappy day he has had. All good. Actually been a while. I don't use Twitch. It's been agonising waiting for your turn. I am sorry, mate. Well, this is half the reason I was looking into this, because I thought, you know, although I think this sort of stuff should be on Twitch more, and there are people who do it, but not a lot. I think it should be on Twitch more, and I think Twitch is a really 30-second delay on typing to sound. Oh wow, that's quite a bit longer than I'd like, but hey ho, that's not. Is what it is. Yeah, I think there should be more stuff like this on Twitch, and it is a good place for it. But there's just a lot of people who aren't into Twitch, and there were some really awesome people like yourself and other people that would come and, you know, onto my live streams on YouTube, and I thought it wasn't really fair for me to just suddenly go, oh, you know, thanks for that, I'm off to Twitch. When Twitch isn't everybody's bag. So this is where I suddenly thought, right, there must be a way. Must be a way to do both. And there bloody well is. And so far it looks like it's working very well. I need to sort the layout of all this a bit better, but you know, the premise, I need to get my camera angles right and stuff like that, but the premise is sound. Used to try to hold it under a bloody microphone, hold it under the camera again, because I reckon I'm probably nearly leaning my head out of that camera. Get my lights at the right angle as well, because they're probably, I know, I can tell I'm actually casting a shadow on myself as I do this as well, so that's not right. All a work in progress. But yeah, a lot of people think Twitch is for, you know, watching people play Call of Duty, and it just isn't. I mean, Twitch has been a little bit of a revelation to me over all this lockdown stuff. There's so much more to Twitch than I realised. There's one sort of slightly bizarre but beautifully endearing thing that's just kind of got away recently. It was called Twitch Sings, and there's all these lovely people who, a lot of the time, really couldn't sing for toffee. Sorry, Ben. Sorry, it's because Bongo bloody Clive. Yeah, sorry, Ben. It's just me reading the thing. Yeah, Twitch. It does have some. Let me adjust this light, because that's no good. There it is. Should be a bit better. What you been playing lately, Ben? I haven't really. I haven't noticed you coming up on my Steam. I can't think when I last saw you playing on Steam. I've just got back into Football Manager 2021 because it came up on Game Pass. I was just like, as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, you're gonna play it. I know you're gonna play it. Is that annoying that you can see that light, or does it really not matter? This is, oh bloody hell, brought him up a bit quick there. Sorry. So this is, I think he's called. He's got a name. Sorry. Bane, something Bane. Manbane the Minotaur, from a company called Heresy Miniatures. Awesome company. They make all sorts of cool stuff. Every time I was at Salute, it was always one of my must go to stands. This came with options of a double-handed axe in each hand as well. But yeah, I'd always go and buy a couple of bits from him. He used to do these really big, like, demons as well, which were all real badass. Yeah, just very cool. I just really like what he does. He used to do, I don't know if you're into Necromunda, but he used to do, you remember the old style Delac Necromunda gang? You remember what they looked like? They could have all looked like skinheads with sunglasses from the Matrix, basically. He made his own kind of like version of them, and they were so much nice. That's much better lighting. I can actually see what I'm doing now. yeah, he made his own version of them, and they were just in much more dynamic poses and really cool. But yeah, definitely check him out because he does some really, really cool stuff. There's lots of just demons and gribblies and stuff like that. He does also a line of Trenchcoat Mafia, yeah. He does look like a Blood Bowl mini, to be fair, yeah. In fact, actually, that might be exactly what this version of him is, because no, it probably isn't actually, but I know I'm sure, unless I'm getting him mixed up again with another company, I'm sure he did some Blood Bowl-y stuff. Or, able to be used in Blood Bowl. Yeah, so what have you been playing on Steam lately then, mate? I can't think what I last saw you playing. Anybody, I could see there are some people watching in Twitch. If you could just type something in the chat, if you don't want to have a chat, that's fine. You could just type hi in the chat, just so I could see that it is working on both. There we are. Death Nerve Podcast. Hello. It works. I am on YouTube and Twitch at the same time. I feel like I've done something amazing. Can't help notice your sticky fingers are all over that guy. Don't use holder. I do usually use a holder as a stand. I do usually use this. I might try, but he's lead or he's metal, and it's also on a wooden base, and I don't think he's going to stick. He's very heavy. Oh, that is on actually. Oh, good. Just didn't think he was gonna work. Oh, thank you. That's awesome. I'm really pleased that works on both, and that anybody in the video can see whatever is being said. What we're doing? What colour should I do his loinclothy thing? Shouldn't be anything fancy, should it? It should just be like a mucky, khaki, crappy colour, I would have said. So let's go. I could just do it grey. No, I won't do it grey. Where the hell's it? Yeah. Also, I don't mind about holding miniatures. It's never really bothered me. I did it for years. That was what I was worried about. Yeah, I don't think. It's just not sticky enough on the metal. What I always do with Football Manager, I always start for a while as Man United, who I support, and I do like 3 or 4 seasons, just kind of getting a feel of it, finding out who might be cool and interesting players, and invariably I'll get a bit bored after about 3 or 4 seasons of that. Although, I mean, I haven't done in the past. I've done very, very long saves of Football Manager. But then, yeah, there'll be a team that might have a player or that I've just sort of found myself a bit endeared to, that I'll then go to. Like, I don't know if you can see, but he is a anatomically correct That might even get me a Twitch ban. Does that get you a Twitch ban? His second bottom. Yeah, like the last one in FM20, I know Nick Pope, the goalkeeper for Burnley. I used to coach him rugby at the school he was when he was year 6 and 7. So I just thought I'm gonna be the Burnley manager. I'm gonna try and and I quite like Burnley. I mainly because of Nick Pope. But so I thought I'm gonna make Burnley. I'm gonna try and why even bother? Indeed. Well, it's just to hide his modesty from the front. Maybe it's to stop it being such an obvious target. Need. I had it. Where'd it go? Had it. Oh, I know what I was going to do. Yeah, that's what I was going to do. What about you? What do you tend to go with when you're playing Football Manager? Oh, look at that. It's got like I don't know if you can see it. It's like almost like the lid's warped. How weird. Seems fine. Oh, that lid's definitely not quite right. There's definitely something wrong with that. So yeah, at the moment I've just I'm not playing it too much, to be honest. I'm kind of almost to the point tempted to actually just uninstall it, because if you go on my Steam profile, you'll see that I've put many hours into Football Manager over the years, and I think I'd just rather not. Rugby union. This is when he was Colts at school. I'm in the Czech Republic, and as all old props believe, I accept my fate. I managed to squeeze a few last games out of the carcass. I think I have one season left in me. Yeah, so true. Yeah. But it's not massive here, so it's desperately so countdown to see which happens first. I accept my fate. Well, I couldn't play anymore. I mean, I stopped playing when I was much younger. But yeah, it's a great. I really enjoyed coaching it. I found it really rewarding. I would do that again in a heartbeat. Not for my son. Not if my son played. I wouldn't do it for the team my son supports though, because I don't want to be that dad. The dad son coach thing. No. I didn't know you were in the Czech Republic. Why didn't I know that? But you're not Czech, are you? Or did I just miss a memo somewhere? Right, what am I doing? That's most of the contrast layers down, which I didn't actually think I'd get to. I got one of those paint shaker things, the nail polish shaker things. Should give it a try. I've just gone through and added better agitators. But that's a lovely noise for the masses. No, I'm from Wales, yeah. Ben Joseph, of course. That's a fairly Welsh name. You're an international teacher. Awesome. Good for you. How long have you been out in the Czech Republic? No, that's not the colour they're after either. Yeah, that's what we'll go. Bloody gummed up paints. It's the only trouble with dropper bottles. Is them getting that little bit stuffed up. It's so annoying. The Death Net podcast, the Heresy stuff is awesome. I love it. I haven't bought anything from Heresy though for ages. He's moved over to bloody resin since I last ever bought anything. I've got so many of his like old minis. Of course it is. Hey Rob, how you doing, mate? I knew when I saw Death Nerve podcast, I was like, I definitely know that for some reason. You playing some RimWorld there, Ben? Actually, another game I've got, and I just don't find myself going back to it. Oh, that's way too bright. Need to thin that more. Offer. In fact, we'll actually use a bit of contrast to thin it. See you later, Ben, mate. Thanks for dropping by, and thanks for letting me know it's all working. Yeah, well, you haven't. I haven't seen you. If you are still there, Rob, I haven't seen you putting up many minis lately. You went through a stage where you were blitzing through some painting. I hadn't noticed anything for a little while, but that just might be Facebook. You know, it's like I get that with YouTube, where I thought a channel had gone away a little while ago. It was just that I hadn't watched anything of it in like what I think was a very short amount of time. So therefore YouTube just decided he doesn't want to see any of that anymore. I won't bother showing him. Yeah, it's like, well, no, I did want to see it. It's nice, it's working a bit like a glaze. We're doing little bits of painting, but me and my girlfriend are trying to buy a house at the moment, so stuff is packed away. I see. You take it you're trying to buy a house in around Braintree somewhere. Oh, what spaceships have you been painting? I like spaceships. I loves me some fleet games and naval games. If anything, it's actually it's my completely preferred type of gaming. I prefer it way more than standard general miniatures games. Colchester, nice. Oh yeah, they're the ones. They're the ones for the Red Alert game. Yeah, they are. They are nice. Yeah. Are you going to be using them for Billion Suns? Because I hadn't actually thought about that. I've got a lot of fleet games. Tell me to shut up, please, because I don't need any more. Billion Suns is the plan. Yeah, my brother got me the book for my birthday, which was nice. I played in a couple of playtest games quite early on in the conception of the rules, and I really enjoyed it. So I'm looking forward to seeing how it developed and if it's still as good as I hope it is, because it was good when I played it. I really enjoyed it. Have you played many games like it? I haven't actually. I haven't really. I've sat down and flicked through it a couple of times, but whenever I've gone to sit and read it, one of my kids has usually accosted me for my attention. You still doing? Obviously, I get that nobody's doing it right now, but you still doing the stand up and stuff? I loved Battlefleet Gothic. Yeah, it was the one that got me properly into fleet games was a real old game. I mean, it was old even when I got to it. A game called Full Thrust, and it's quite a meaty, sort of quite heavy game because it uses vector movement. So if you shut down your engines, you'll still drift. So you're always tracking. If you reverse your engines, you're always changing your momentum, and and that's you know, it's that can be quite intense. It's very easy to cock it up. Awesome. Yeah, I love full thrust, but that's not one that's for everybody. Star Wars Armada is really good. I really like Star Wars Armada. I liked Firestorm Armada as well. Well, I assure you, full thrust has not changed in that time, Rob, because it was 25 odd years old back then, almost. Yeah, Star Wars Armada is very good. Firestorm Armada is very good. I really like. I can't remember their name now. Spartan Miniatures. Spartan Miniatures games are really good. I really liked Uncharted Seas, which is their Man of War. I really enjoyed that. Armada is expensive. There's no getting around it. Yeah, that is something I cannot defend or deny. I've just got everything for Mantix Armada. Quick skirmish game, but with spaceships. I think even X-Wing doesn't really tick that box. X-Wing isn't a particularly quick game, much as I love it. Yeah, I don't know. To be fair, Billion Suns does sound like it's. I've also got loads of stuff for Black Seas, which is the game that Armada came from, Napoleonic. I've done all the thread rigging and everything on them. Only got a little bit of rigging on them. Just love them. I love tiny fighting men, and I love even more tiny fighting men that are invisible because they're on the tiny fighting ships. Quite understand how I managed to miss that entire side of his belly. Is it possible? Amen to that. Yes, I have. I'm the king of starting and not finishing. My wife would probably agree with that too. haven't done any large amount of flesh painting for a long time, and I'm actually quite pleased with that. It doesn't look actually particularly great on there. It looks like it's all really, 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 really like one colour, but yeah, I'll have enough of that. But I'd say there's definitely a market for a quick and accessible game like that in any of that sort of realm, you know, be it capital ships, be it fighting. I tell you, actually, one of the games I've not had a chance to play yet, but I'd really like to have a go at is Blood Red Skies from Warlord Games. I really like that. That looks like that actually is pretty quick and snappy. So yeah, I'd really like to try that at some point. That looks a bit better now. A little less stark with the lines. Yeah, that's nicer. It still looks really weird on the camera there, but lovely. Yeah, I completely agree with you. I like the tipping the bases thing. I like that how it represents what's happening and stuff. But yeah, you're right. It doesn't look nice on the table. Yeah, I'm completely with you on that. And that's a very good point, because I am shallow as a tinker's bath. And there's a very good chance that would actually ruin the game for me. Where do you work? On the basis that you've got a copy of Blood Red Skies there, I like the sound of that place. Where's my vape gone? What have I done with it? Where did I put it? A Dyson Slice. Oh, the Board Game Cafe in Colchester. I've definitely heard of it. I didn't realise you worked there. Why did I not know that? Good place to work. I can't imagine Blood Red Skies is a game that gets played too often. Mr. Brisman. How the bloody hell are we, my Scandinavian buddy? Are you doing all right? Have you seen this, Marcus? I have mastered the social medias. I have brought two titans together and merged them into one, like I'm some sort of X-Man. I am currently, Marcus, painting a big scary Minotaur who's ripped a poor adventurer in twain. And I'm going to put a load of blood for the blood god, Guji Miflip, on there. How many? What sort of space have you got at Dyson Slice, Rob? I am a bloody tech genius. You're right, absolute friggin' genius. You know what? I mean, I downloaded the software. I did exactly what it told me to do in the tutorial, and I did it, and it worked. That's tech genius if ever there was one. Yeah, Rob, where I a friend of mine whose dad's been running a war games club for donkey's years, full of old grognards, lovely old boys. I think he made the game. There's a lot of homebrew rule systems there. It might be one, I'm not sure, but there it's all fighters. It's all. Oh, I know what it is. It's something, and they're marvelous flying machines. Baron Munchausen. Yeah, Baron Munchausen and their marvelous flying machines, something like that. But it's all World War biplanes and stuff like World War One biplanes and stuff, and they're all on basically old car aerials. It's great. It's really good fun. It is disgusting. Well, well, some might say it's got it's just realistic. I'm looking forward to putting it into on tabletop, and hopefully they'll appreciate that Lloyd shot, and Justin will lose it when he sees that as well. Yeah, those telescopic rods are great, and they work so well. You just need a real decent base on them. That's cool. Sounds good. Have you got, how many tables have you got? That's more than just balls, mate. That's the whole shebang. That's the meat and the potatoes. There you go. The money shot. That's the bull's balls. As in testicles. As in testiculous mahosiveness. Yes, sadly it probably has been a while since you've been there. Yeah, that's a sad truth of it, isn't it? I'll have a look on the website then. That's cool. It sounds like a nice place. I enjoyed setting up the Zatu one. It's close enough, thanks. Are you sure? I'm more than happy, Marcus, to show you a little bit more if you like. I enjoyed setting up the Zatu one, and I shall leave my experience at that. Did I get away with that? I bloody did as well. This Marcus is he comes from a range where he's for anything. He's for whatever you want to use him for. But I will be using him in Frostgrave miniature game, and he will be the bear in the monster list, because I am making a Greek mythological themed Frostgrave warband, because my mate and I, Steve, that you know, Rob, mate and I, Steve, are going to get into Frostgrave. I'd already played Frostgrave and really wanted to play it more, and then Steve randomly decided out of the blue, without me knowing until he was halfway through building a load of people, that he sort of stumbled across Frostgrave and thought it sounded cool. So I've done a few minis for him so far. So I've got a load of old beastmen that I had. So this is a satyr who's going to be one of my archers. Oh bollocks! His chain flail's fallen off. His bow. I did all his cloak and stuff like that. Oh mate, Rob, don't even get me started on Stargrave. That's the one I really want. If you know, I can't wait. And then what else have I got here? So I thought what would be quite cool would be for the warband to be led by 2 strong females. So I thought I'd go with a high priestess. So I thought about, you know, what are the kind of sort of slightly more mythical women in Greek mythology. Or I couldn't even really think who the wizard and the apprentice would be in a Greek mythology. And at first I was going to do just like a druid and his apprentice, but that never quite sat right. So then I suddenly thought, I was playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which has some mythical elements to it, and I kept obviously coming across like high priestesses and oracles, and I was like, that's perfect. An oracle, so like a chronomancer, and they're always women. So this is my oracle. I'm going to maybe do a bit more to her, because that's just literally, it is just a head and 2 arms added from the Frostgrave women's thing. And then this is my high priestess. So yeah, they're going to be fun. I might add a bit more to them and stuff like that. Yeah, mate, Stargrave. Oh, Stargrave it's going to be amazing. I'm looking forward to seeing the miniature line that North Star do for it as well, because the line they've done for Frostgrave is really cool. Yeah, they're going to be awesome. All the like, I've just got so many minis that will work for it as well, and I have for Frostgrave as well. You know, so many old fantasy stuff. I want to get out of my way so I can actually see what I'm trying to get at. Right, brown. Need some brown. No. That's more what I'm after. Beastie brown. Centaurs, that's a good idea. You don't really have mounted stuff. If you had somebody mounted in Frostgrave, I would make a centaur for them in a heartbeat. But you don't really get them. So not sure quite where I could use a mounted unit. Do we know, Rob? Do we know when Stargrave is coming out? I'm sure I keep reading when it is coming out, and then I instantly forget what the hell the date was. It's too big. Too big. I fear I've chucked away brushes I shouldn't have chucked away. April, I think 17th, yeah. Yeah, it is a bummer, because a centaur is such a perfect fit. Amazon says 29th of April. Okay, so it's not far away. It's not far away. I might even actually pre-order the book. Nick starter pre-orders from 17th. Okay, cool. One of the things I've been doing, which Steve kind of got me onto, and I kind of just never really done it, and I don't know why, but he said it, one of the things that got him kind of where he is now was just buying like a sprue or whatever, so people like go on eBay and they'd put like one or two, one sprue of the knights or the barbarian set or the cultist set or whatever on eBay, because obviously all those box sets, they make like 20 of those people, and you couldn't need that many if you tried, so I picked up a whole bunch of just like sprues of this and sprues of that, so like Persian soldiers and some Spartan soldiers, a few from ancient Greek lines and stuff like that, and that's way better than me buying a whole box set of something that I only want a few of, and I don't know why I've never done that before. How's the world treating you, Marcus? Was it your little lady's birthday today, was it not? Yeah, good idea. Yeah. I've bought so many minis that I've been like, I'll have 2 or 3 forces so I can play with my friends, but it's just not the same when you make up a force for them or whatever. You need that to really get into a miniatures game. You need all sides to be kind of invested in it, to really get the most out of it. I think it's a great way of showing somebody a game, though. 5 already. Yeah, you're one slap bang in the middle of my 2. Eden had her jabs today, and we really didn't know how it was going to go, and she did just nothing. Sarah said she almost terrifyingly didn't react. What's a Delta Green campaign? Yeah, you have to excuse my no problem, Marcus, buddy. Thanks for dropping in, my man. Love you, buddy. Take care of yourself. You have to excuse my ignorance, Rob. What's Delta Green? Role playing is something I very much aspire to, but just our groups just never got into it. I think we all know that we wouldn't take it seriously enough for the poor GM who'd be trying to run it. And people just dicking about all the time. I've run one thing for us, and it was the Fantasy Flight End of the World series, and I ran where you play yourself, well, you certainly can do it, kind of encourages you to do that, and I ran a thing for that. That was really good fun. Delta Green is a horror RPG. It's a bit like Call of Cthulhu meets X-Files. Awesome. See, that sounds bloody cool. I want to play and shit like that. The End of the World one we did was really good fun. Because obviously I'd never GM'd a role playing game or anything like that. We kind of mucked about with it with some dungeon crawlers and stuff in the past. We did some sort of role play sort of stuff with Warhammer Quest back in the day, but nothing to any decent amount. and yeah, I bought like ordnance survey maps, and I did all these things, and that I'd love to join one, mate. Yeah, I'd really enjoy that. So yeah, what I did is, instead of, because I listen to a lot of stuff about role playing games, like podcasts and stuff like Secret Cabal, where they often talk about podcasts and now have their own podcast show. What was I saying? Yeah, so I wanted to try and make sure I didn't try and do some narrative that they had to sort of go on and try and like railroad them along it. So what I decided to do, I made loads of little things, little nuggets and scenarios and people that they could meet, or like things that might happen. So like I just let them do what they want to do, and I could just sort of throw things in as I thought, oh, this would be a nice time for this person to turn up, or you know, this thing could happen. And yeah, and there was like I put some like clues for stuff that they could try and find, which actually luckily they really ran with in a really good way, and I was really, really pleased. And I did a thing. I wanted to I wanted to have a little bit of fun with it, so I added this thing in where I said, right, I will hand you, if I hand you an envelope or like a folded piece of paper, I forget what it was, it'll have something written on it, whatever. You can never show that piece of paper to anybody else, but you can say whatever you like about it. You know, you could tell them exactly what it says, and obviously it's up to them to believe you. So there's a few things I did where sort of like I would say to somebody, like, because I just wanted to see how they would react to stuff. So like in the beginning I did it a few times where I just went, you know, they're all sleeping in a house that they sort of broken into. So then I handed it to one person, and it just said, you stir, and you think you can hear something outside. So I left it to them to decide if, you know, how they wanted to deliver that thing. I don't like it when I hear GMs running games and they go, oh yeah, you do this and you can see this and da-da-da. And I think, well, I get what you're doing, but it seems weird when you say, you tell somebody how they are about something, if you see what I mean. I don't know if I'm making sense. But then I did a few things to just sow weird distrust. There was a few times where it was maybe getting a bit tense, or like they were getting a bit stressed with each other because they weren't doing, somebody wanted to do one thing or whatever, and I handed somebody a bit of paper and went, absolutely nothing. That's all it said on it, was just absolutely nothing. So then they, you know, put the paper away, sort of smiled, because they were like, oh, you bastard. And then people were like, you're right, what's up, you know. They were quite good in that they never really role played around those things. They never kind of said, oh, what did the bit of paper say? They would sort of go, everything cool? Everything all right? And the person, I forget who I gave it to now, but they just looked at it, like, yeah, it's nothing. And then all of them were straight away like, what's nothing? What do you mean it's nothing? And it didn't occur to anybody that I might do it with absolutely no purpose. So straight away they were like, what's going on? Are you hiding something? What, you know, it was brilliant. It worked so well, you know. I was real chuffed with myself, I must say. And I even made them meet this guy called Simon, who was really weird, and he talked really monotone, and he seemed really unemotional, and he was just really quite odd. And they found him, and he was everywhere he went, he was hugging this rucksack, and eventually they wrestled this rucksack off him, this poor innocent little fella. They wrestled this rucksack off him, and they reached inside it, and I said, yeah, you go through it. And then as they reached inside it, I threw this bit of it was like it's like this stuff, it was like greaseproof paper. I threw it onto the table in front of them. It was all screwed on, scrunched up, and they opened it up, and there was just weird little lines. and just like little pencil markings on it and stuff like that. And then it just said Haven in one spot on a dot. So then they had to put it on top of the Ordnance Survey map and find where the lines met, like they were like roads or rivers or cross junctions and stuff. So they had to move it to make it fit. I mean, they were literally blown away by this, and I was so happy that it kind of paid off. So, you know, being the GM, I was just loving it. Yeah, it was really good fun. So you've written loads of stuff. What was it? Tales from the set alternate 80s in Epping, where she's from. She brought maps and stuff. It was amazing. Yeah, it's great fun when you involve areas that people know. You know, they can invest in it so much easier, and also it's good for when, I think it probably helped being all completely inexperienced role players, that you don't get people visualizing. Probably helped me actually as the GM, because I didn't have to explain to everybody what everybody was doing, sort of seeing, and try and make sure they were all on the same page, because we all knew the things that we were seeing. So there could, you know, everybody knew what that place or that building looked like, or that road, or what that junction or whatever. I know exactly what I mean. The paranoia is one thing that RPGs can do better than other types of game. My favourite film of all time is John Carpenter's Thing. Oh, amen, brother. I wanted to replicate the paranoia stuff for that game in years. That sounds amazing. Now, Steve has bought the Alien, you know, from Free League or Free League, whatever the Scandinavian name is. He's bought the Alien roleplay game, and I really want to get the books for that as well, just because Alien is my favourite of all time. Actually, technically, it's Aliens. And I would love to play a decent role-play game with that. But like the one thing I really want to struggle is how you can sow that fear, because I mean, there's nothing more intense and very similar to the thing. That fear of, is it here, is it there, is it coming? I mean, that's a really intense fear that they managed to deliver so well in the movies. I just wonder if you just never quite make it in the role-playing games with that. But I'd love to try. It is a beautiful book, and I want it just so it could go up on the shelf with other stuff. I mean, I've got the Player's Handbook, the Dungeon Master's Guide, and the Monster Manual of D&D 5th. It doesn't sound like we'll ever play it, but they're really nice books. I've got the Tales from the Loop book as well, and I've got the Zombie Apocalypse one. I think that's the only role-playing games I've got. I'm sure I've got another one, but I can't think what it is. I think probably maybe sometimes it helps to not be an experienced GM, because you're not kind of trying to tick all the tropes off, and you're freewheeling it a bit more. Right, I need teethy colour. In fact, I've probably got teethy colour there. I bet it. Well, my board game collection is certainly terrifying. So yes, I can fully relate to that. I'm sat here surrounded, in fact. Hang on. I've got it on a funny angle. There's a whole load of it up there. And then there's a whole load of it over there. That's just some of it. What's your favourite? Mango Smasher, thank you very much for the follow. That's greatly appreciated. Much appreciated. Thank you very much. What is your favourite role playing game system, Rob? Why did that not come through my headphones? Oh, because they're not plugged in. Sorry, that might have echoed. I apologise for that. I think I might be only a few followers shy of being an affiliate. Maybe. Not sure. Being an affiliate, to be fair, would be probably quite wasted on me. I'm not a dedicated streamer enough. All the effort all these people put in. Yeah, it always is a hard one. Why did they come up with Rainmaker? That's weird. Old Star Wars D6. I'd love to play it. I had a couple of the books for the Fantasy Flight one, just because I wanted the books, just because I love Star Wars so much. But then I sold them in the end because they were just sat there, and I think it, as always happens with Fantasy Flight, they became slightly hard to get hold of, so I cashed them in. That's a set of books I would happily have on my shelf. Role-playing books are just nice. No, too much. Tiny Frontiers. Tell me about that. What's that? I like the name. The name alone intrigues me. I'm wondering who Mango Smasher was now. I wonder if it's somebody I know, or just a very kindly soul who stumbled past. Okay, cool. Going back to your previous comment, Tales from the Loop does look like a really nice system. The book's really cool too. I haven't watched the show yet. I keep meaning to. I just haven't got around to it. What colour do I do his eyes? I need to. try it. Try this. Congratulations, you received 100 messages today from Restream Chat. Well, isn't that lovely? Bully for me. My girlfriend hated the show. She loves the original arts books. Well, from what I gather, a lot of people didn't love the show. I don't think we'll be seeing a second season. I don't think I've come across anybody who loved it yet. Damn it, that dried really annoyingly quick. I wanted to try and blend that a bit. Contrast medium, come to save the day. Better. That's better. That's the trouble with painting under lights. If you get damn much quickly they can dry shit out sometimes. The film that sums up the feel of Tale from the Loop well for me is Super 8. It's very different, slow, and a bit po-faced. Right. Yeah. I'm with you. I'm with you. Where I'm at. I might just do Agrax over that feller. Generally, if you join my, I would genuine acceptance. I would love to, but absolutely love to. Just whenever you're doing one next and you think you've got a space, hit me up. I will, if I can, I will jump in on it happily. You ever been to UK Games Expo, Rob? I can't remember if you... Did I see you at UK Games? No. Didn't we bump into each other at Salute one year? I'm sure I bumped into you at Salute. Yeah, it was Salute. I thought it was. Yeah, have you ever been to UK Games Expo? I can't remember you mentioning it on Remember Two Brains podcast before or anything like that. Never been to Expo. You should go, man. It's really good. I've volunteered there for the last, I don't know, 5 years? 6 years maybe? This year, if it happens this year, which is still looking incredibly unlikely, and even if it does happen, I really want to come to that Colchester Game Show, mate. It looks super good fun though. It looks really good, and it was one of those ones I meant to every time. But yeah, I'd really like to. What was that? So look, no, Expo. Yeah, it's awesome. I've volunteered there for the last, I think, 6 years. It must be now. Hopefully this year I'll actually go because of work, which would be awesome. But if not, it's next year. No, I would love to go. Yeah, it's an easy drive for me. It's only about an hour and a half drive to Colchester. I used to do it regularly to go see my godparents and stuff like that. So my relatives are all from. I was born in Colchester General. Spent the first 6 months of my life or so in Fearing. Grandad lived in Coggeshall most of the time I remember. Did live briefly up here when I was very young, but I don't really remember that so much. I remember him living in Coggeshall. My godparents live in Tiptree. Hey, you should be super proud of it, man. Should be. Running anything like that's bloody crazy stressful. What's the place you run it at? Like, what is the... I forget what venue it is. Is it like a... I am an Essex boy. Yeah. At heart. Born but not bred. Colchester Arts Centre. Right, cool. October, to be fair, that's pretty realistic that will happen. Art centre, a well-run art centre is a cool thing because it can have so much stuff in it. What sort of is it like a little like mini trade fair, or is it like more people playing games and stuff like that? Been a long time since I've seen promo stuff for it from you. Good old bring 'em by. They bring 'em by at the Games Expo. Almost every year I've essentially used it to pay for my weekend. When I went to Aircon and Harrogate, I did completely use it to pay for my entire weekend. It was fantastic. Cleared out a whole load of old stuff that I realised I didn't want anymore. And marvellous. So I just do. How did I do that? How the hell did I inadvertently squeeze that fucking thing out of there? How long have you been working at the board game cafe, Rob? Did you say that earlier, actually? You gotta love a good bring and buy, mate. You gotta love it. Bargains to be had. Crap to be shifted on. The amount of stuff people bring to the bring and buy at Games Expo is just it's unbelievable. There was one dude last year, you know the roller cages you get in like supermarkets where they bring all the stock out and stuff. There was one dude who turned up waiting in the queue to drop his stuff off at the bring and buy with 2 roller cages full of shit. I was like, how? Yeah, that's been going for a little while now, hasn't it? I did know of that place. You know what? I think I've sort of finished him to a point. I don't know if I want to do all the blood on him and stuff. Sort of half tempted to just do a little bit, but I think I intended to do a bit more. Jesus, yeah, it's crazy. I was to think, when you see somebody like that, you think, are you getting out the hobby? Is that it? Are you drawing a line under this? You know, because if this is what you're selling, how much have you got bloody left? I will do a little bit of it. Little bit of blood for the blood god. Such a fun little technical paint, this. Some, but not too much. Try and see. Somewhat reserved. First Games Fair I did, massively underestimated how busy it would be. The bringing by was chaos. Don't know to a fine art now. I was running on my own from one of the venue's bars and thought I was going to keel over. Yeah, that's one of those ones where you put the SOS out. You're like, lads, I need you. I need your help. You know, put the bat signal up. Oh, what do you think? What do we think, people? money shot again. Yeah, I'm rather pleased with him. Get his base done, and he's done and done. You make. They are awesome nads. There's no getting around that. Last thing I do need to do. This is always my top tip. You want to do eyes. I have just about every size I would need of these. Very nice. Fine point. And it's by far the easiest way. No cross-eyed beasties here. I find all I use them for is the eyes, where they don't smudge because you can't get in at them, sort of thing. That's literally all I use them for. Go slightly thicker, accentuate it a bit more. That's better. Yeah. Beautiful. Most of the time, I don't even bother doing eyes. This channel is not named after the tabletop standard, as it were, because I have a love of going too far. You can see like, yeah. Cool. Well, I think that has been a most successful first multi-stream. I'm very, very happy with that. I think I'll probably call it a night there. I think, maybe. I know I've got some people in Twitch. It'd be really nice if you followed me. I really appreciate a follow. I think I'm nearly at affiliate, so if you are and you haven't followed me in there, that'd be lovely. I'm streaming to Twitch and YouTube at the same time. Yeah, so just trying to get back into doing more painting streaming, because I hadn't. It's what I set out to do, but then I started gaming more. I do gaming streaming as well, and I'm going to do more like using Tabletop Simulator and stuff like that, like soloing, playing like Marvel Champions and stuff like that. So I'm going to start a new campaign of Warhammer Total War 2, because I didn't like the one I started. I didn't like the force that I started with. Yeah, mate, it was really nice if you came on again, buddy. It was really nice to have a chat with you. But hit me up when you're going to do a role-playing game again, and I will happily jump in on one. But yeah, thank you everybody who's here. Thank you for the people who followed tonight. Thank you for Marcus, Rob, Ben, for being in the chat. It's all greatly appreciated. All the best, everybody. Thanks. Bye.